Knock knock. Knock knock. Alright, that's it. This time, I'm going to politely ask to come in, and you don't get a say in this. I'm just gonna barge in anyways. Be prepared. Here we go. Okay. You get to yell at me if it's hard to hear my voice. I have unoptimized hardware. So, this is how it's gonna be. Plain and simple. You can yell at me if it's an awful time. Alright. Oh, and maybe one last thing. Just for now. Alright. Oh, the headphones are coming off. And knock knock. Are you ready for some good old knock knock jokes? There was a sticker on the door? What? Sorry, there was a sticker on the door. You never know what will show up sometimes. Alright. Doors are knocking. The woods are spooky. That seems about normal around here. Just a good old-fashioned spook town. But hey, what do you expect? You've got your resident gremlin. Good old-fashioned confusing bean. You know what it's like. You go to one place expecting, I don't know, you'll get like an ice cream sundae, and next thing you know, here you are with several bags of fish. That's how it works. And that's okay. Sometimes we have those days. Other times, you bring your knock knock door to a joke. Knock knock. We're a knockin'. And we're not joking around this time. What? Well, hello. Maybe it would help if I got my hat on. There we go. There's so much more to discover, huh? I got this door for one. And I'm ready to use it. Knock knock. Who's there? You know you're supposed to say who's there, right? There's another sticker? Where do they come from? Well, I still like the door. Even if you won't knock back. Don't worry. I have good knockback skills. Pretty good. Oh dear. No, don't attack, door. No one has gotten mad at your knock-knock jokes yet, or not laughed, so we're just gonna let it be for now. You know what's gonna happen if you don't laugh at the joke, right? Like, I've got a door for a reason. Someone's gonna get knocked. It's just how it's going to be. Accept your fate. So, as much as I like the land pirate hat, and I think it'd be very fun to be a land pirate, that's not what's happening. We gotta adjust the door that's opening in the room. As a description might say, I wrote a basic blob of text. And you know what comes next? We explain that text. And we go through that. We because that's what makes sense. So, what an interesting little pirate man. Give you a story. That door is because Basil made fun of me for writing jokes at 3 a.m. He thought they would be knock-knock jokes. So I made a door. Knock-knock. Guess who's knocking? He's gonna be the one walking. I will fight him with the knock-knock door. He'll still be disappointed, and that's fine. I am so proud to send him Kermit the Frog's face all over my entire face at 3 a.m. any day. Proud of it. Well, I think there's other things that need better explanation. Like, for one, I had a nice time haunting the little television screen the other week. However, it's messed up my entire system. So I have most things not installed again. Yep, that's right. All of this is just built on the fly. Because, if you kind of like max out your CPU and then mess up your system, it doesn't get very happy with you. Not for a while. So it's no longer like freaking out, but I gotta build everything again. I got all the stuff, it's just gotta put it in there. And I think we have other things to see. So, as random people at a party I went to once said, let's be more existential than the people having an existential and interesting time. So, why do I have a knock-knock door aside from to knock people for not laughing at my knock-knock jokes? And just because I then overcomplicate things and I'm like, no, I have to have 3 doors built for an extended joke about the knock-knock door. Well, tomorrow is your good old Halloween, Howl's Eve, and I believe we all know what that means. The door is opening. All of it. And with that said, we need to make sure that we are prepared. And what does being prepared mean? Look, I always kind of dress like this. This was a little extra fun. It's an amazing silhouette jacket, like, oh, so cool. It's very, very stylish and fab. I adore it. However, that's not the real beef of the door opening. It's a connection to the afterlife, the dead, things like that. The spirits are more active and out. Doors kind of flippity floppity, timey-wimey, wobbly-woobly bloop. Understandably so. As good old Doctor Who once said. And with that, it's time for the ultimate costume quest. The cosplay of a lifetime. To what that is? Plain and simple. You gotta cosplay yourself. But not the current you, more so the future you. What is the true you? The you must be, what you must do. So, in the spirit of that, I had to kind of consider what was the actual point. What was the presentation de resistance to properly explain it all. And for the most part, decently happy with this maximalist extra kind of existence. Aside from the wall behind, if you want to talk to the wall, you can bug the wall later. I think I'm a little more fun than the wall to talk to. Yeah, take that, wall. So, in thinking of the future, it's time to better explain. Explanations. It's not every day you think, wow, wouldn't it be great to be a door-to-door vampire missionary? Try and convert people to vampirism. Yeah, no, we're just friendly neighborhood vampires. We just, like, go around and try to recruit more vampires into the collective now. Maybe comment in chat. Oh, I think that would be amazing. And things like a land pirate. You know, like those, like, go find this thing and I Spy collectible type scavenger hunts. A land pirate runs around and finds all those things. They're just like, I found the tree first! This is my discovery! And then they collect the little acorns and bits. That's a pretty fun land pirate. As long as they don't get lost on a lake. Land pirates don't do well in lakes. So, with all those fun ramblings ideas, the answer is yes. I am seemingly goofy, absolutely ridiculous and absurd. Maybe hard to take serious for some people. And that's exactly kind of the battle you face. An uphill road, sometimes a little cat bean. It happens. That's not to say we can't do magical things. We all kind of choose our magics. And to that I say, well, we just gotta be above the simple ways. Move beyond the expectations. Be the pirate we want to be. Look, I enjoy my pirate outfit. It's fun and campy. It makes me happy. And I get that. Most people would be utterly confused and baffled by my pirate schemings. Oh, I gotta blend this better. And that's fair. I get it. It's not easy living on the land seas. Boom. Ah! The main thing is it's the ones who persist that continue forward. So, while this is not an explosion of audio, sparkles, and glitter effects, this is still a peculiar and strange world where Blump. Despite everything, I'm still here. And so are many other people. And that's the problem. You see, good old art world expects you to have this big, finessed masterpiece that has taken months upon years to craft for a singular set performance bit. And I say nay. I don't like that. It usually ends up in a gallery, which, yes, galleries are important. Very cool, very helpful, interesting. However, most people will never see that, nor will they necessarily care. I saw a really good short video essay about essentially trying to frame defining art, especially in YouTubing and content spheres. And the answer is, it's totally subjective. You can duct tape a banana to the wall. You can put a sticker on something saying it is not art. Is it? And that's all entirely based on context. So, setting up the premise is rather important. Very, very much so. And to that end, we need to understand what is happening around here. For one, I try to do YouTube land as curated video content and essentially live performances. So yes, it is a live stream. I am live, though most of the time I can't really interact to the fullest extent with, like, chat or things. Mostly because, you know, it's kind of difficult to sometimes, like, reach the microphone or, like, break from whatever is going on without ruining the explanation and performance. It's a fight. Oh, that's spookier. So I'm trying to make a system where you can kind of get the gist a bit better. Essentially, you're always welcome to chat. However, I can't always respond directly. I kind of move through performance with a set goal, and I can respond to some extent. But overall, it's kind of like there'll be segments of, this is just staring at what on earth is happening. What did you do? Why did you do this? And I'm perfectly happy with that. I'm very happy to just be doing essentially a live performance and confusing everyone. Like this. Ah, I smacked a tin. My bad. And that's just what makes sense. For me, the YouTube is essentially the land of performance. I'm not going to fully explain most of the time, especially not during a performance. It will be always kind of confounding and confusing. And that's acceptably obscurity and metaphorical. This is a gesture of being, ow, door, don't hit me, rather human. I cannot sustainably make entire production sets 3 times a week. At least not to the professionalism and standards that I like. I don't know most of the things I'm doing. Most of the skill sets required to make all the different things and software or mediums, I literally don't know. Sometimes even the day of me needing to know it. And yet, here I adventure. The fishy seas. With scales and fins. Singing for 3 hours straight till I'm like overheated and exhausted and gonna pass out. It's off of the pattern. Out of timing. Not delivered the best. It's a total meme to most people. Who on earth sings about like fish dancing and a Dirty Dancing parody at that? No one thinks of these things and says, this is a good idea, I'm going to invest multiple days, many hours of my life to making happen. And yet, here I have been. Had a grand old day back in February, I think. Either February or beginning of March. Filmed scaly dancing with my buddies. We just puppeteered the fish, had them do a little dance and jig. And bam! We then were like, okay, we gotta figure out sort of like the music thing, because I already had written the song at that point. And now I finally got around to recording the song. And performing the song in time. Not the final cut, but the little snippet from the other day was essentially me singing it whilst videoing myself singing it. So it's a pre-recorded live performance, essentially. Oh my gosh. It's been such a learning curve. Like, I've pretty much never mixed audio for vocals before. I'd only done the one other song that had, like, actual vocal elements. And it's just like, I had no idea what I was doing. I'm not even a trained singer most of the time. I'm just, like, blopping along. However, from 3 hours of singing non-stop, over and over again, the same song until I kind of understood it, you learn so much. You learn to, like, move your mouth forms so you can soften your P, so it's not puh. It's like puh, puh. It's like little granny dentures. You gotta like, It works. S's are still difficult because it's like kind of a slide. And yet, I just, near the end, I finally was able to understand that. I was like, oh, when it's getting so loud at these parts and it's almost like peaking the mic, you gotta like, wah. So much learning happened through continually doing absolute absurd nonsense at an unprecedented pace that is entirely unable to be properly done. It's not normal to just say, hey, here's this random thing I've never done before and have no idea how to do. Let's, like, manage to do that in 2 days. Like, this is not what most people do. And that's acceptably fine. Because that's kind of the point overall. I have so many ideas, and so it's not worth fussing over them being perfect. The only way you'll actually figure it out, to some extent, is just by, you know, doing it. Testing the idea out, seeing what happens. You know it's bad when I would say I'd rather just make an entire animation from scratch than, like, learn half the software I need to do it. Projects at times. It's like, I could just spend 10 hours drawing things frame by frame, or I could, like, you know, learn this software. Oh, that's the wrong one. I want a little bean. Ah. I'm still happy with a lot of the sets and things I've made. It might seem absolutely bonkers. However, NB's is only just starting. What? Oh, it's a GIF! That's what I did. Like, I absolutely adore the NB's uniform, and we need to make more. And I need to make the cart more... even more so mobile. That's right, the NB's cart, that seemingly weird physical prop set thing, is an actual mobile cart. I kid you not, I can have an entirely mobile booth. And yet, like, I would rather sometimes just make this little thing. It's so cute! And sitting down to record absolutely cursed audio is such a joy. Kermit face reveals. Why? Why do you curse me so? And I am so excited to someday have the grand old time of running around doing the Zoidberg. Like, I don't know about you, but I absolutely exhaust myself. I did not rest properly today because it was like, I want to figure out what all I gotta do and get done. And then it was like, buddy in pain. Well, I vegetated with a heating pad to try and fix up my muscle, so of course it is. Helps the old buck. And it's very flab, because it's Jessica Rabbit style. Like, it's slay. It's very slay. Yes. I adore it. And I think it's fun to be a goofy little pirate. Yeah. And I know most people always seem absurd, goofy, ridiculous. Though I'm very genuine in the fact that dressing up as a banana in like one of those big banana suit costumes and making that seem like appealing and innuendo-y kind of appealing of like, yeah, that's a skill. And it's important to understand that it's absolutely absurd and subjective. You can use your imagination to make whatever you want as weird and goofy as you want. It's genuinely serious. So banana suit or not, understand, the point is, it's how you perform with things. It's what you do with it. That's what makes it appealing. It's not about looking a certain way or dancing a certain jig. The thing with fashion is pretty much that, yeah, don't dress for others, yet it's still a way of representing yourself to others. So, if you want to represent yourself as a little goth bean, and you're like, I like these sets of music things or fashion things and mediums, then dressing goth would probably convey that. It's one of those matters of, you'll never know the full story. However, there's a suggestion. It's the packaging. Because presentation is key. And so while I always prove to be a goofy little gremlin, there is absolute logic to my choices. For the most part, aside from necessary, being stony is boring. If you think just being like absolutely flatlined and deadpan is being business professional, then I think you're just not really being a person. Most of the time people are too stingy about being super, like, locked-in professional. If you don't have flexibility in your thinking, you're not willing to tip the scales, you're not gonna really see what you're looking for. So, you gotta be able to loosen up. Have the right amount of playfulness. Certain matters that have to hit, you hit them. And for the other bits, you get to be more personable. Some of my favorite things have come about from simply just being willing to say, what would happen if I did this? I have no vested particular interest in a lot of things at times. I'm just like, sure, why not? What's it like? What's it about? And simply being willing to take the risk and go for the opportunity has led to so many more amazing adventures. Most of what I have learned and am able to do in life has literally been because of that. Like, kindergarten, good old kindergarten graduation. What are you gonna be when you grow up? Yes, I'm going to run a maple sugar shack. Because that way, I can make maple sugar. And trees are cool. I just really liked maple sugar, okay? It happens. It happens. So, throughout all the absurdities in life, you have to be able to know what really matters is that you just stuck around and you did the things regardless. I worried for so long, like, oh, I'm obviously not doing enough, and then I'm upset because I can't get performances or things to, you know, the absolute maximalism. Like, I still haven't even figured out little boopity bopples, like the little bean. I don't know if it's just like downscaling on my end so I save computer resources, but I'm always just like, no, it should be crisper. I come from the world of you must have the absolute biggest files for printing. Whereas in the digital sphere, it's like, oh my gosh, please compress your files. You make every software scream. And I'm like, but I could just make the printer print neon colors and suffer. I feel bad for our poor technicians that I've worked with. They're like, why do you do this? Don't put an apple in our laser cutter. And I'm like, there is the technology. I didn't do it. I just baked my prints instead. You know, you just make your little Pillsbury dough crescents and all the different edible food dye inks. Yeah. Look, I just didn't want to eat paper. My classmate ate a book and I'm like, I don't want to do that. The normal things in life. Because through absurd gestures and things, you get the point across better than just saying, like, don't be this way. Like, it's not a concern to have. If we can explain, like, innuendos and parody stuff of, like, sexuality through ceiling fans, then it shouldn't be that difficult to talk about. Because it can be done entirely not inappropriate at all. It's just a genuine conversation. And whilst it's hilarious, it's really campy. It's sometimes like, what on earth? It's kind of cringe, probably. At the same time, you realize, oh my gosh, this is genuinely exactly how people talk about some of these things. And yet we're so like, we can't talk about it, no one can know or see. And that's honestly pretty dumb. By being able to talk about things openly, you're then able to literally help people and protect people better. If you don't talk and communicate openly about such things, especially things like that, you're actively just putting more people's safety at risk. In being open and comfortable to talk with other people, friends and family, you literally are like actively supporting each other and able to empower each other. Instead of struggling alone and having a cry thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm the only one, this is just my thing, I'm stuck. You realize, oh no, there are so many other people having the exact same thing. And then you can pool your resources and find a better solution and answer to your questions. And that's plain and simply the point. Point is, yeah, I'm goofy and absurd. I think the banana suit is funny and cool. I'm still serious about it. Like everything in life, I'm a bit of a maximalist. A bit doesn't go far enough. I have a tree in my office land that I've smacked my head on because I had a plant hanging from it and I was trying to move something, and then the plant falls over and you spill dirt all over your floor, and then you're like, well, this is how it is. I'd love to say that's the only absurdity, though we know that's definitely not the case. The amount of times I have tried to drink a swig of water and I've just, like, spilled it everywhere, comically so. My inability to drink from soda cans. I've improved at that one, at least. It's an adventure. And that's just how it is. So, instead of fussing about the absolute state of performance land, the answer is, you just gotta show up regardless. You do something long enough, it is a career. Whether you choose it or not. Sometimes you gotta balance things. And fair enough. Though that doesn't discredit the work. So, as always, professionally goofy and strange, this is not a normal land. And don't worry, I'll have a more abbreviated explanation. This is a guilty pleasure. Gummies, hold on. Gummies, okay. Oh. This is going to be a mess. This is what charcoal does. Oh my gosh, it's really nice wine sticks. Gosh, charcoal! Alright. Plain and simply, this is my time to explain why this is happening. So, are you ready? Get out of here, cat bean. No! That was not the meow I thought. I wish I could do a very deep voice mew. My cat used to go and make very strange cat sounds. Meow! Meow! Yep, that was pretty much how my cat sounded. Interesting little fellow. Used to do little fashion shows. Good cat. I love that bean. So, what do I actually want to do or be? What am I dressing up as for Halloween? I mean, pretty much the same old campy self. I'm pretty happy with this absurdity. And I have little colony book bumps. Wait, no, they're witch hats. I went with the witch hats. They're very fun. And I enjoy being a fun and campy weirdo. Though I think overall the biggest arc is that of simply, I want to just make stuff more. Yes, I want to do the performances, and yeah, I gotta sit and learn all the stuff to do said performances. However, that's not always the most, productive. If you had to spend 10 hours screaming at software every day, you'd probably be frustrated and not very productive. Whereas if you have that break to do your other things, then you're like, oh my gosh, it was so simple, I just had to like phrase this question this way, and there's the info. Yeah. So in all honesty, in terms of just actually sitting down and producing stuff and doing monotonous tasks, I haven't gotten to do a lot of that, and it's upsetting to me. And if I remove some of that frustration, it means we can do a lot more stuff. So, to this end, whilst I will more succinctly explain it later, truth is, I enjoy just playing games sometimes. Just wanna yell at the captions on screen and be like, why aren't you fitting into the boxing? I made you a box. Stay in the box. So then I just bobbled noises, silly boop de glump. And if it doesn't boop de gamble, then you just gotta like keep a bobbling and yapping along until you can see that it's not going to like move outside the text range you want, because I didn't realize there was a setting to like make it fit in a set box range. It's okay. It's only sometimes sunny. So yeah, sometimes you just gotta have that separation break. So YouTube Land is where performative type stuff will stay. Because the scariest thing of all is usually not actually facing your fears. It's the fear of your fears. Stay charcoal. So, in light of that, I have to just face my fears. I don't actually like going on stream and not having a production planned. I plain and simply feel like I haven't done enough, I haven't given enough. So even if I'm like half passing out and nearly unable to walk at times, and then I'm just like, okay, I have to be prepared for stream and shovel down some food. Yeah, I understandably don't feel well. And then I'm also like just upset because I'm like, I wanted to do more, and then I feel like I'm not enough because I haven't made a big, huge bajonko glonk. And then I realize I'm just the maximalist weirdo here. And no one else has that mindset per se. There are other people who have the same mindset, but not me having the same mindset. So, for the most part, streaming is like, yeah, you're gonna do a thing, you're gonna have fun, you're gonna play a game, you're gonna be entertained. And I'm just like, it has this set point, I'm trying to do things like, yeah, be reactive and keep yapping for chats and stuff. However, it's more so a case of, you know, I'm basically trying to make like a real-time kaboom bang pow like YouTube video in a single take. Because all of my other video work, essentially, is also performed in, like, long takes live. Yeah, I'm the weirdo here. It is not normal to, like, simply film a video in a single take of performing through all the different things with a pacing in your head. I don't work from a script. I literally write, okay, these are the things that I'm supposed to do, or kind of the points I have to hit. And this is the theme of the week that this builds towards. That's it. That's all I have. Most of the time, if even that. So, yeah. To then do a live performance with pacing, timing in sync to a tempo for a more edited YouTube video, that's a really bizarre thing to do. Huh? No, devices! Stop! I have... Basil, I'll get you. Stop, devices! Don't scream at me! Ugh. Womp. Face that! So plain and simply... Food's good. Face your fears. This is what happens. My brain has lagged. I was yelling about caption boxes. Look at this. Facing... Planning! Yeah. I'm the absolute weirdo. I know it, and I understand it. I didn't realize how much so. So, instead of seeing streaming and stuff as an art form for the most part, most people are just like, okay, this is the thing. I do my stuff, so I exist. And repetition is rewarded. Whereas, as big old art student brain says, it's like, ah, yes, how do I make this seemingly theatrical thing make sense in the context of it being, like, displayed at a gallery with a purpose and a point and a thematic cohesion? Yeah. That's the issue. I am doing things in all the weirdest and wrongest of ways compared to the norm. So I gotta set the stage and frame it as such, so people know what on earth they're walking into. I'm happy to gloop gloop glop glop gapple gobble gobble. Basically, I'm very much so happy to just glob go gab go lab. Karaoke. Stop yelling, devices! And that would probably be more in line with the normal stuff. And it takes some of the frustration and pressure off me to constantly produce big performances. So that way, people know I exist, I am doing things, stuff is happening. Stop yelling! Devices. And that's allows me to literally just be more reactive and interact with people. So then I can yap properly. And actually respond and explain things so that no one is constantly just bewilderedly confused. Doesn't mean it'll always sink in, doesn't mean you'll always get it. Though I can offer some explanation. And that's also something that just needs to happen more. So, restructure is key. Basically, if you want a weird performance trippy experience of like what on earth absurdity is being displayed here as some sort of overarching artistic exploration of an idea, that's what's gonna happen on the YouTube land for the most part. On the other hand, me just existing. This isn't even proper T-pose form. T-pose. Me just T-posing, existing, you know? Okay. Having a fight with the wall and having a staring match type thing, or seeing if people want to chat to the wall or me more, that'll be a performance and a half. However, me just existing, T-posing, playing a game, working on stuff, I didn't think that was something that people would, like, care to see for the most part. Because I feel guilty like I'm just doing a thing I want to do instead of, like, you know, doing an entire project in theatrical production I decided that needs to be done even though no one asked for it. Yeah, I'm a weird workaholic that way. And that's totally fine by me. So, yeah. I want to just be active more and accessible. Because for the most part, if I can't properly curate and articulate something, I just won't say anything. And that's not helpful. Understood. Antisocial online. Because I don't think I have something specifically to directly communicate at times. I'm just like, no, I want to have a proper statement to give people full attentiveness. I can't watch VODs of streams because I'll be like, I just want something on in the back while I'm like working on something, and then I'll actually stop what I'm working on to like stare at the screen because I feel like I'm being an inattentive listener and that I should be like properly listening and or watching what's happening, even if it's a VOD. And it's just like, why? I am the weirdo. I understand that more and more so as time goes on. And yet at the same time, being the weirdo I am is what allows me to make these absurd gestures work. It's not every day you see someone dance around in a banana suit. It's not every day you'll see a land pirate or fish being puppeteered and a mukbang of them being eaten and cooked. It's fine! I decided this, and I'm contented with it. Though, guilty pleasure, I just want to make more drawings and stuff. I really like doing batch production of things. So when I do editing for videos, I like just edit a bunch of things all at once. Or make an entire thing from like start to finish in a full set. I actually work pretty fast when I know what I'm doing. Again, it's faster for me to animate something by hand than to learn software sometimes. What an adventure. That being said, I think it's time we hit the charcoal trail. So, how do I make it not the worst camera angle ever? Wait. I have a plan. This is gonna be upside down, so I'll have to flip the camera then. But bump, bump. Oh. Okay. Okay, we're cooking. Okay. Oh. Look at that. Paperland. Ooh. Oh, wait. Move the camera thing. Haha. Huzzah. Although, like... Ding. Oh, you're not gonna be... This is the problem with being left-handed. Not only do you get covered in, like, any drawing material, basically, you also then get the added bonus of, like... You'll always have your setup opposite to how you want it. Because almost everything is set up for being right-handed. I am terrible at digital drawing if I have to use a mouse, simply because there was no option for left-handed mouses when I was younger, so I use my right hand for computer mice. I never learned to use my left hand for it, so it's like awful and painful for me to do. What a chaotic gremlin I am. So yes, plain and simply, I want to do more drawing stuff. And I just want to be, like, more around. I thought this was gonna be eyes, but I'm like, no. Let's have it be not eyes. Well, let's abstract it. Yeah, I'm sick and tired of seeing cool new drawing techniques and things. I'm like, oh, I want to play with this material, or do this or that idea, and then like not doing that because I'm like, I have all these other things to do. Or having a cloud umbrella I want to finish making, and I'm like, no, I gotta do this other thing. I feel like this is going pumpkin carriage, and that was not the plan either. Though in all honesty, I don't have a set plan for this. And yes, I know, I have not shared the daily drawing boopity bumps. And some days, it truly has not been a complete drawing. Though at least one idea, one share thing of a thought, an idea, a something, that's the goal, in all honesty. I was just like, oh, it's October, I'll do some sort of like ink drawing type thing each day. Yeah, sometimes you just like pass out. And other times it's like, wow, it's 2 a.m, look at the stars. And there I go, and sit and take photos of stars whilst dressed as a bear, lying on the lawn. Just your average house bear, I guess, I don't know. Though I still feel a little insulted. My parents were just like, oh my gosh, like, be careful going outside, that helicopter might be looking for you. Like, I don't know, because there was a bear or something, and I was dressed kind of as a bear with a bear hoodie. I think it's more so just an eyesight issue. Because, like, if they don't have their glasses on, sometimes I'm just like, I am disappointed in you. That wooden reindeer is not a giant doggo. Very upset. We will never believe my mother when she's like, oh yeah, I saw like this moose or animal like out in the woods, and we're like, was it a log? Was it a wooden reindeer? Although sometimes it's like, I can like blob, so I can just like contort myself and like squish into things. And with the amount of plushes and pillows I have like all around my house at times, I can just like submerge into them. So yeah, I'm pretty still by training. Like it's part of my it's part of my required skill. Oh my gosh, it is part of my required skill set to just be able to like sit and hold a pose and stay still. So yeah, I can like practically play dead. And then it's just like, my parents try to talk to me or something, I'm just like, where are you? Where did that voice come from? And I'm just like, I'm here. And they don't even see me, and I'm just like, I can see you, like, I'm just amongst the plush. Though I will not forgive my father for taking away the giant cardboard box. It was nearly the correct size to be a cool coffin, And he took that box away from me, and I'm like, no, give me back my coffin. I am very upset out of that one. Ooh. Oh, it could be like a tree vine thing. I really like the swirly boople gumple. And yes, that's not vocabulary, and I don't care. Okay. Do I have a little smudgy brush? Yes, I have a little blendy stub. Blump. Bloop bloop. Okay. I don't have a normal... I did bring napkins. Take that. Napkin, napkin. Okay. We got the charcoal, and we're gonna like pull more of it. We kinda got a base tonal value down, and boop de boop. And now all the fingerprints show through. Oops. Ah, goodbye, charcoal. The urge to say, are you ready to buy? It always comes back every now and then. It'll just be like chilling and relaxing, and then boom, are you ready to buy? Appears in your mind, and you're like, well, Jello, you've done it again. Yeah, I might regret pulling that tone through the center. However, we're just gonna build things back up. Because I kind of like pulling the value up on this instead of doing more of a reduction. And overall, the biggest thing for creative job and field and stuff in life is something I've been kind of starting to move towards in the drawings that I was doing ink-wise. It's the choose your own adventure path. So much of things that were like, this is how it's done, and the expectations is just... It's just like something that someone else has done and proven that it exists. So, in being confused by how other streamers and things function, because I'm used to such an art modality of stuff, it's like, wow, I'm not actually doing the wrong thing. I'm doing something in a very peculiar way. However, it's what makes sense for me. So the YouTube for me is essentially, I like making fun, goofy video bits. And also essentially a showcase of, these are basically project proposal ideas. So yeah, it's gonna be messy for possibly a long while. And that's okay, because I'm constantly pushing stuff and like trying and learning new things that I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And yet I'm still producing something with said techniques and skills in an insanely fast time frame. So the goal with it is essentially to just produce as many things as kind of fast as possible, in some sense of building up skills and learning more techniques and materials to work with. So that way, when it's like, okay, I have this thing better understood now, got this skill down, I can actually properly implement it, and it'll be glorious. We'll have the NBs of our dreams. Look, I love the NB's uniform, however, I got the jacket, and I also have another cool sweater. And a waitress dress. I got a cool set of clothes from a queen that was selling them the other day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these are fab. I love them. Praise be. I need to know where to get more clothing like this. Because, like, drag clothes is totally my vibe. Like, the type of costume pieces that it can be is just exactly how I like to look most of the time. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big proponent of fluffy, comfy clothes. I like to be the fluffiest of gremlins. However, most of the time I'm just like, what if I could have a maximalist suit? What if I could have that coat that has all of the pockets instead of the suffering that is women's clothing, where you get none of the pockets? You don't even get a pocket for your pockets. Most of the pockets are fake. And I was like, that's just mean. Yeah, the pocket injustice is always real. Absolutely. catastrophically upsetting. My disappointment is immeasurable. Kind of vibe. That's how I feel about pockets sometimes. So this is why I have a bunch of, like, really bizarre bags. But even then, it's like... I am the person who's just like, I don't have room for the kitchen sink, but I will carry just about everything else I possibly can on my person at all times. In my bag. What's that? You need a snack? I have snacks. What's that? You need scissors? I have scissors. What's that? You need grippy gloves because you can't, like, open drink bottles? I am not joking. I think it's specifically, like, iced tea bottles, like Nestea especially. They're awful to open. I, for years, even as an adult, would have to go to random strangers or my friends and be like, can you open this? I cannot open bottle. And they're like, huh? And I'm like, save me. I just want my drink. And yet at the same time, it's like, I'm not weak by any means. I can, like, lift heavier things and lug groceries, like an entire shopping load of groceries that'll hurt your shoulder to carry. I can lug that home on foot for like 40 minutes, no issue. And my friends are just like, how can you do that but not just like open up a drink bottle? And I'm like, look, I don't know what to tell you. It's a skill issue on my part and I don't know how to resolve it. So yeah, I'm happy to do more absurd things of just being the weird gremlin. Because there's like literally so much potential in a lot of the technology and equipment used for streaming. I'm just like, I don't think pretty much most art students know of any of this stuff or how to do any of this. And it's like the amount of projects I'm like, whoa, this would have been so helpful and I could have made a really cool thing for if I had known this was even an option, is like, damn, that's a shame. So I really hope that more people are willing to just be an absolute gremlin and muck about with things and experiment and have an interesting time. Because you gain so much more from the adventure of just do the thing, be the cringe. And it's much more human that way. You never know until you go for it. It's like the balance between theory versus, like, experience. Because a lot of times people are, in their own version, like, just as scared as I am at times. Like, I have a much different tolerance for some things compared to others. Like, it's funny, I've seen and talked with people before who are just like, oh my gosh, like, you're so, like, brave. And like, they don't mean it in a campy way, but like it's a genuine fear for them. They're just like, you're so brave and strong for like doing your job type thing. And sometimes it's in relation to like just being able to show artwork or be very like open about I guess personal struggles or things. Because I've experienced a very different perspective on that stuff. I've met so many other people in my life who are like, I will die before I basically tell, like, even an intimate partner of, like, health conditions and things for mental illness and stuff. And it's like, you shouldn't have to feel that way. Because I was the very opposite end of it. It was like, oh my gosh, I feel bad for not telling people. And it was just a relation to how my diagnosis and stuff had gone at the time. So I was just like, oh, okay, I obviously feel like I just have to tell people, like it's an obligation. So I felt no concern over it. And I'm emotionally flexible enough that anytime that sort of conversation happened, like, it more so became of just, like, in some weird way giving, like, perspective or, like, life advice to the other person and, like, making them feel supported. So it's just like, yeah, I never once felt sort of like a stigma, shame, or guilt over that. The only time I ever felt it was in towards, like, applying for jobs and things. Because, like, I feel like at times I was, like, unable to function well, and so it's like I need to be able to have this known and disclosed. But, like, again, I didn't have the experience to back me up to make me feel like I had the skill, I could still do it. So I was just like, no one will, like, want to hire me, etc. Ever. Which is probably not the case. And yet, by, like, just going for things and being willing to say, like, hey, I'll take on this task or do this job, give it a shot, why not? Like, I've found so much more enjoyment. And that's kind of like what keeps it going for me. It's one of those things where, like, yeah, it doesn't make sense for everyone, and everyone has their own comfort levels and things. And once again, it's just the choose your own adventure. Like, most people don't just be like, I'm just gonna be like a model and like show up to frickin' school the next day and be like, okay, I'm now going to be, like, posing in front of a bunch of classmates and people. And it's like, alright. That's not normally how most people go about it. And yet, at the same time, I know Basil has told me the story before. He had a classmate in high school who was, like, terrified of the whole situation of, like, oh my gosh, you, like, forgot to put on pants type thing or something. Or you're, like, just in your underwear giving a presentation. And this person apparently went to work as, like, a receptionist or something at, like, a nudist colony. And they're just like, I'm getting over this fear, I'm just going for it. And they were, like, fine and chill about it afterwards. And it was like, wow, damn. Into the deep end. And it's the things like that where it's just like, yeah, like, some people are gonna be mortified of it. And other times it's just like, you never know until you just, like, go for something. And you're just like, no, what? This wasn't that bad. It wasn't that scary. And it's all about sort of building that, like, confidence in things. What? Huh? I'm so confused. I never know what it is, but sometimes on my screen I'll get, like, random booply bomples that show up and I'm like, where did this come from? What happened? I like this road thing. Going roady. Oh, I could put a face in it. Man, everything always gets a face. Womp. I think one of the biggest things nowadays is that oftentimes we just don't actually communicate with people. We don't hear things. We don't say, like, oh, we had fun with this, or, like, we appreciated that. And then, like, silence can be such an ominous thing. I know for me, I'm always just like, oh, if, like, someone hasn't, like, told me something directly, I'm a direct person most of the time. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, I must have, like, done something wrong. Or, like, what? Overthinking everything. I'm just like, oh my gosh, maybe this thing or that happened? And it's like, oh, okay, no, apparently it's fine. People were contented and chill. And happy with whatever thing. And, like, I've always sort of, like, felt that way oftentimes. So even when, like, starting something new in life, being able to, like, hear from people and, like, be told, like, oh no, like, I really appreciate this and stuff, it's just like, oh my gosh, like, thank you, that's such a relief to hear. Feedback is, like, so important and helpful. And I feel bad for not just, like, giving feedback at times. And there's a difference between, like, just saying, like, do this, and, like, being able to offer, like, just, like, suggestions in a way. Because I feel like oftentimes, if you do work publicly, it's just, like, people will be like, oh my gosh, you have to do this, or, like, just tells you, like, you're doing things wrong, which is not really helpful. Instead, offering up suggestions and other avenues of, like, here's an idea, basically. It's literally a more productive format and more helpful. Because you don't necessarily know all their intention or skills or thoughts behind it or what was going on. Whereas if you're like, hey, here's a suggestion, here's a thing, then it's so much nicer. And they're able to be like, oh my gosh, like this will work with what was going on here, or things like that, or improve this. And it's more generative of like, these are other options and ideas that could be explored in future then. Yeah. I like this big bean. They're so cute. It's like spooky pathway. But also like little bean. Little gremlin bean. It's kind of like close-up bug thing. Oh, now it's more tendrils than bush. Darn. What happened, sir? What happened? Well. Mousey bug. Go for it. Yeah. I see what happens, sir. Blump. Alright, we have a bug. He's, having a bug time. Alright, come here, Pepper. Give me a Pepper. Beep, 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 beep. Alright, new Pepper. Bug, be good. Be good. But yeah, I want to be more explanatory with things at times, so that I can give better commentary or feedback on stuff. Because I know how confusing it can be when you see, like, works at, like, modern art and contemporary galleries where it's just like, I've turned the lights on and off again. And bananas duct taped to a wall. Like, it seems so goofy. And you're like, why do people like this? What is the appeal? Banana jokes, no. It was an unintentional pun, I swear. What am I doing? Ooh. Buff toast. Yes. Buff toast, oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. The bread. The best toast. Man, I just want to bring back Toast Man. I don't know why, but Toast Man is just like, yes. Oh my gosh, there's a little bug thing. Hello, sir. Oh no. This is... Give me flashbacks to a fish drawing I did the other day. Oh. Oh no. Well, we got toast. Why is the toast like this? No. Oh my gosh, well. Are you ready for your breakfast sandwich? Oh my goodness. And part of the choose your own adventure of life, you'll make interesting choices such as toast that's buff. Why? Why is this the choice? I mean, maybe it's a better choice than some of the other ideas I have. At the same time, I'm like, why? Why? Why toast? Ooh, let's give you, like, scrunkly legs. Boom. Yeah. What a toast. He'll be toast after a fight with Marshmallow Man. What is... Sure, toast. Sure. Or maybe he'll toast that marshmallow. Man. What? Why? Oh, goodness. I mean, hey. Toast happens. I have created a monster, and I don't know what to do about it. Well, okay, we're gonna like, oh my gosh, whoa. Very, very hands, slay. Yeah, look at those hands things. Oh my goodness, so what have I... Okay, sure, we'll add... Yeah, see, it's giving toast vibes. Oh. Sometimes there's no saving toast. It's just toast. Though, I think it's still a novel little idea. Oh, toast. Oh. Boom. Toast goes off to you. Boom. Why do you only have one arm though, sir? Well, that's a long loaf story. Wait, no, he's gonna be missing and dropping a loafer. Oh my gosh. Yes. His lost loafer. Toasterella. He got toasted on a dance floor. What have I done? Sometimes the puns just go different directions. My. Toast in the sky. Boom. It's toast. I don't know how to feel about this toast, you know? He's a loaf away from being too much. Oh dear. Okay, wait, no. Yeah, look at that. Buff toastness. Oh my god. This is terrible. I actually like how awful it is, and yet at the same time I'm like, I fear what I have made. Oh my gosh. No, white toast. Oh. I don't know that I'm happy about this. Okay, let's just do something like pretty over here. I don't know. Let's make some shapes. Look at shapes. Distract from the toast on the screen. Ignore the toast. He's toast. Oh my goodness. No. Sir, what have you done? Well, you see, I, did, toast things, apparently. Yup. I feel like this is actually worse than Kermit the Frog's face on my face. Do it for the meme. I suppose. My brain remembering great-grandmama from Rhapsody Street Kids Believe in Santa. What a great performance. Boom. Okay, we've now got these shapes. What do they mean? I don't know. Let's, like, add shape to the shapes. Yeah. They are getting shapes. And then it could be like a, I don't know, light rays. Pew! Yes. When your favorite anime censors stuff with random beams of magical lights, why not? Boom. Womp womp. Okay, that somehow is working. Let's actually pull this section, like, just go. Boom. Ooh, the texture is kind of fun. Boom, boom, boom. Alright. Toast Brick Road? Yellow Toast, no, Golden Toast Road. Oh my gosh. I am proud. We got there with a pun, finally. The Golden Toast Road. That's the toast we believed in. Our beloved. These bread puns are horrible. Oh my gosh, I can't. I fear I've outpunned myself. This is my punishment. The bread was a lie. Well. What a toast. Action toast. Are you ready for breakfast? Are you ready for an action-packed breakfast? Well, this toast is on the run. Oh, goodness. Welp. It's toast. It's toastably official. It's toast. Ah. And as expected, there is so much charcoal. It is a disaster zone. And I have insufficient napkin power, of course. This is what happens. This is what happens, Toastman said. Ah, yes, Toastman. I don't actually have a voice for Toastman. Blam. Water. Oh. Blump blump. Water. And remember, folks, with intense concentration, you decide if you sneeze or not. When you swallow saliva wrong and you have a choking fit and you're just like, I'm fine, but you can't explain it because you're choking. That's the way. Man, I can't even say cookie crumbles because it's a toast. How dare you toast my puns? Get out of here. Wait, no, that's gonna get more chocolate brick. Go over there! Hargy, harg, harg. Blargy, berg, 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 berg. Alright, seamless transition. Ooh, the hand cam! Oh my... Well... Oh my gosh. Okay, B. When you place the camera as incorrectly as humanly possible. I swear, I've only shown more skill in in producing the absolute worst setups humanly possible. What's that? You put yourself on a skateboard and a mermaid fin? Have fun going down that hill. Yeah. Somehow that's still better than half the actual sitting setups I make. That's just a typical upset. I enjoy making unrelatable, ridiculous problems for myself. They're better than most problems. At least I choose to have them as problems. I like having a tree in the office. It's just a hazard of twig branches that you'll poke your eye out on, and if you move large furniture things, you're gonna hit all the stuff. It's my own fault, and I stand by my goofy decision. Because plain and simply, there's a reason in all of it to me. Yup. I think it's fun to be a cute and goofy little cat gremlin. Blah. And I enjoy humor and fun. So therefore, if it doesn't detract, and it doesn't hurt, and it's uplifting and fun and helpful, then I will be as absurdly goofy and emotionally dynamic as required, and or possible. Because unless it calls for being specifically stern and blump, then I'm having a fun time. Even if half sleepy. What? So, we gonna dress up as who and what we want to be. And for me, that means doing more performances, doing more just vibing and playing a game, or just like I'm building a craft thing. I want to have more so an improv day. Not necessarily like I'm dancing around doing the Zoidberg improv, more so an improv of like, you have a weird and ridiculous idea that you think is stupid, and there's no point in making. Like, who would invest in this goofy idea? Rocket-powered skis or whatever. Like, I'm not building rocket-powered skis. I don't have that skill set. However, for a stream time one day, like, I want to know... I want to make an absolutely absurd, randomized idea. It gets me out of, I'm trying to make this one specific thing work and learn the system or whatever. It gets me into like, I can just make a weird thing and have a good time. Because if I can actually build something and do something, I am so much more happier than fighting with technologies or just trying to plan things in my brain. It's so much more fun. Because then I have a weird thing built, and I've expended my energy, so then I've de-stressed and I'm happy. The satisfaction of making a goofy little toast man and whatever forest gremlin, immeasurable. So good. Very, very peak. That's all I need. I'm a happy being. I make my stuff, I sit and like animate for like 10 hours or whatever monotonous, arduous task. I am so happy to do that. Because then I'm like, I did a thing, I made it, I'm done. Instead of like, oh, I didn't get through all of this thing. The artist issue of set the bar too far and then overestimate what you can accomplish in a set amount of time. So, I'd like to have less damage control, embrace more of the jank and it's not gonna all work out at this point, and yet still have it be functionally a catalog of project proposals as a showcase of like, at this point I could do these things, or only knew how to do this, but here's the full idea, Ron. Here's proof, so you can see the concept in action to some extent. And then you just write your gallery proposal, and bada bing, bada boom, you're good. Because if it's talk to the peoples, I can talk to peoples. I love that part. That's my favorite part of my, like, other contract work and stuff. It's just like, yeah, I'm exhausted or in pain and stuff, and I'm like, okay, now I get to sit and talk to people. And that makes me feel good, and I'm happy. Yeah. Because then I get to see, like, what they were, like, understanding writing from things and stuff. I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah. Or, like, you learn some, like, new skill or technique, and I'm just like, oh, what? I don't know of this material. Like, I want to do that. I want to make that art thing. Like, oh, yeah. I thrive on informational nuggets. Because I like to... I'm a bit of a vampire. The door-to-door vampire joke is... extra funny to me because I'm a vampire. I will not drink people's blood. I have a phobia of blood. Please, keep blood away from me. I mean, I don't want people to have blood blobbling everywhere. In general, that probably means you're not alright. I hope you get healed or whatnot. So, yeah. Keep your vampire bloodness to yourself. But I'm a vampire of energy. It's not necessarily like I drain from energy of other people's, it's more so I require energy sustenance. So I have to go and be social. Extrovertly social, interactive, and I match other people's energy. So if I don't source my own energy and I have to like adjust it to match others, I actually get exhausted. And it's like, oh, I was like bouncing off the walls, and then someone was like upset and sad, and I'm like, oh, I gotta like relax and chill and calm down. So it's learning the skill to like balance that and be able to like lift other people's energy up too, without exhausting myself, or being able to have a time away and a break. Yeah. Cause, well, yeah, it's goofy and fun ideas. It's so much work. Like, even just, like, having all the ideas sorted out of, like, what I have to learn, making the stuff happen, producing everything, like... I work so late. And even if I get up early, it's like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do, I'm always behind. So, yeah, you gotta give yourself a little bit more slack and relax, because I don't have a chill function. I'm the person who goes on vacation to, you know, pack everything under the sun to do 1,000,001 activities so they can speedrun learning even more skills. Skill jockey I am. But I mean, I got to do cool things and see cool places because vroom vroom vroom, I just like speedrun like adventure. It's enjoyable. Alas, I gotta respect the body. It is brief nap time. Yeah. Because I gotta do the updates. I gotta make more of the stuffs. Because, well, this was a proclamation of goofiness and just existing. The point is, I'm pretty happy with who I am. I'm happy with the direction I'm going. I finally, after a decent while of being absolutely nagging at myself and frustrated beyond belief, I'm just like, trying to tilt with the camera. I'm like, no, I'm doing the right thing. It makes sense. I really enjoy the contract works and stuff I do because it gives me social time. I feel like I've given something back to the community in some ways. I learn more from other people, and I'm just like, I'm genuinely happy. It's flexible enough that I can still do all of my other things. I can be fairly mobile. And I'm like, this is great. It suits my lifestyle. And it allows me to be able to do more things like that. So that way I can like do art shows or conventions and things. I can talk to more people for galleries and stuff like that and see what's happening. And I can be more involved in community events and things again. Whilst also like just being able to continue producing this stuff. Like, I don't have some insane income by any means. It's a battle as always. And yet at the same time, like, a lot of the stuff I produce or things like that, most people have like a team to some extent. I'm just pretty much the one guy show. Build the jigs, see someone else like needing help with something, and like, welp, I walked into a gallery and I've installed someone else's entire show with them for 3 hours. Like, this is just how it is with me. And I genuinely love doing that type of thing. So, yeah. I'm not making something insanely unattainable. And that's, in some ways, part of the point. I cannot do everything myself. That is physically impossible. So there are limitations and there will be jank. And yet, it's specifically my work because of having to work with those limitations and try to pivot and make things work despite not having whatever the be-all end-all. Like the whole thing of like, what project would you make if you had like infinite budget type thing for an artist? I'm like, no, that kind of fits the purpose for me. Because even if I had the infinite budget, that just means I can get like bigger, more expensive equipment to try something new. Because I wouldn't use the budget necessarily for like a team unless it's like the project is requiring multiple people to be doing something. In terms of actually making the project or thing, I basically want to do all of it. That's how I am. And that's perfectly fine with me. Because that's part of the point. The only through line I've truly had in my own work is that I've made it. That's all we got. You get some real whiplash. And it's both fun, amusing, and entertaining, and dynamic in that sense. I love flexibility and being truly interdisciplinary. I have no attachment to any specific medium. I like having some sort of finished piece or work at the end, and yet at the same time it's like, I'm happy to do a doodle, I'm happy to build a physical prop or set, or an outfit, and I'm happy to, like, make a video. Though for me, once something's done, for the most part, that's it. Like, if it's something I'll wear or use, it's like, yeah, I enjoy that. But overall, making the thing, getting some sort of resolution to the idea, that was what I wanted, that was what I needed, I'm ready to do the next thing. I'm happy and contented. Very much so. So, here's to choosing our own path. Stop saying you can't or you don't know, and just, you know, just do it. There's always gonna be someone better or more expert in whatever you're doing, and yet there's still so much room for you to do that thing too. It's about being generative, iterative. The only way you keep going and doing the stuff is if you keep going and doing the stuff, regardless. And that's probably the biggest turning point and shift. Instead of constantly fussing over it's not the finished piece, it's not the big shebang. The amount of stuff I've learned in a short period of time, the constant, like, pushing to a new idea, and shifting and transition, that has been the most important thing to me. And that's what allows me to keep pushing ideas further. So, I will gladly produce a bunch of weird and goofy things, and not fuss as much about it being a pièce de résistance. Because plain and simply, if you stick to one specific thing and are so fussy about it, you're gonna lose a lot of the energy to it in a way. You lose so many other options and ideas if you're limiting yourself like that. So yeah, take your time, make your big things you want, and yet allow yourself to see all those other, like, shitpost ideas. Because they can be really charming and great. I enjoy weirdly conceptual works. And yet at the same time, I'm also just like, I'm very happy with just a satisfying little painting. Just a happy little painting. And we need to be able to embrace more of that. So, yeah. Here's to sometimes ditching the gallery and just being art for art's sake and for public sake. Let's face it, we don't really know a lot of artists nowadays. Like, this is my job to know other artists, and I can't tell you most of the time. It's pretty bad. So, here's to changing that and just letting people see more stuff. What? Yeah. I have the skill to not always fail at drinking water now. Power to me. So yeah, happy to still angled. I refuse to tilt the camera. I'm just gonna tilt instead. Happy to continue adventuring a weird way. Making fine art pieces as YouTube videos of peculiarities and or curation of project proposals to some extent, so that once I've gotten even more of the skills under my belt, I can be like, hey, I can take this thing and now do 15 different new innovations upon it to make into a big finessey piece. And yet I can still have a good time just screaming about, like, I don't know, acorns. Acorns are cool. I liked acorns. They're cool. Why is it? I don't even know if a video game that... Oh, does... No, Animal Crossing has bells, not acorns. I don't know. I can just play my weird video games that I enjoy and make goofy little overlays themed to them. I'm content to just do that and just have weird arguments back and forth with Craven. I cannot believe some of the weird conversations we've had. It's normal in our house. It's the whole, is everything a machine or like a vessel argument? And it's just like, what? I just want to eat pasta. Yep. This is a normal time and space. The world is nope, the world is meow. Oh, time is nope, the world is meow. I messed up my own phrase. You win some, you lose some. And I'm not losing to the chaos. I'm going to create more fun chaos, yes. Sleep is not an option. It is a requirement. And get your sleeps. Because you have to put on your best costume suit ever for tomorrow's. You gotta prepare. You gotta be that witch you want to be. Be the bad witch. Oh, my hat! I can... Yes. There we go. Be the bad witch you want to be. I don't have cool sunglasses down here. It's fine. Yeah. Face the witchy music. That's what it takes. Gotta believe Parappa the Rapper. Wow. Parappa the Rapper. I am struggling. Oh my gosh. Yup. This is what happens sometimes. Ding. So, believe and be that which you want to be. Dress as you ought to be. Dress as who and what you want to be. Be that which you want to be. If you know what you are looking for and moving towards, then it's much easier to move towards it. So go forth. I've had this spooky music on this entire time! Unoptimized setup. This is what happens when you forget to rebuild your entire OBS. Ah! I mean, this was a cool thing by design. Look, we're facing our fears. I just existed and did a thing with very little plan. I'm a little upset with myself for this one. However, I'm still laughing it off and appreciating that I am tired and I want to go and eat more girl dinner. Let the dinosaur have a munch and nap. Oh. Yeah. This is a choice. As always, imperfectly, confoundedly confusing and chaotic. Though, I think you'd be hard-pressed to say, I didn't care. You don't show up despite not feeling well if you don't care. You don't keep fighting to do your best. You gotta have a good sense of humor though, oh my gosh. Oh. It ain't always gonna be the cat's pajamas. Or Kermit the Frog's face reveal. Kermit the Frog face! After me! I I swear I have made the most cursed audios, and I fear what I might produce with them. Let me blesseth everyone with weird Kermit the Frog. Yeah! Oh, I'm gonna kill my throat. This is not good for it. Well. Welcome to the witchy woods. It's not very haunted. I mean, it looks a little bizarre, it's fine, don't worry about it. This is just where you have, like, the secret little witch's brew house, in which you produce cool little, like, I don't know, sunscreen, so that you can look purple while sunscreened. That's right, forget green screen, get sunscreened. Oh my gosh, I want to do more fake adverts. TV time of, like, random confusing clips and stuff of, like, ideas and works in progress. Oh my gosh. And whilst this is not a proper, like, dedicated explanation of a specific project, I think it's a really helpful thing to curate just basically a podcast of the explanation of a bunch of different project ideas. Because I miss, like, just writing formal little essay things. And I think it's something that is really beneficial and helpful at times. So, yeah, little Yapple works, bloopple. And yeah, I don't know how to set microphone settings for this thing as well as the other computer. We'll figure that out. As well as all those other bunch of things we need to figure out still. And make more umbrella things and stuff, because I want cloud umbrella. Yeah. Get bird. Become penguin, frog, cat, fish. Alphabet soup. This is how the ramblings goes. Good night, don't let the frog birds bite. Frogs could be cute with wings, you know? So remember, go for it! You'll never know unless you go for it. Be willing to choose your own adventure and see what's out there. Happy hauntings. Dress as yourself. The self you want to be. Go blah. Ah, where's the cat? Get fluffy. Stay goofy. And get your goofy socks on. 'Cause life's a bit more better. Almost always. With a little more goofy. 'Cause once you've been the absolute worst and lamest person, you can only go up. So, Kermit the Frog face reveal, like, go for it. Very glab. Look at me go. Glob go gab go glab.